Good Thursday evening, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Jacob Dickey. I wanted to bring you an update on the ice storm heading our way. The time now is 8:17, and we're going to spend some time talking about things here as far as it goes. Things expected to get active over the next 24 to 48 hours here. Before we get too much further, I'd like to let you know that I'll be looking for questions in the comments. If you have a question, where you're coming from, what you're doing, anything like that, we're going to focus on the weather tonight as our main event and talk about some other things. And then after we answer some questions and take care of things like that, of course, we're going to talk about the forecast itself. Things looking interesting, needless to say, as far as things go. So lots of folks checking in. Let's see some folks who is checking on in here. We've got Urbana, Carolyn checking in from there. Hey, Carolyn, hope you're doing good. We've got Gilman checking on in. Elizabeth is saying hi from there. Lena checking in from Danville. We have Tina from Champaign. We'll give a few more here from Charleston checking in. There's Ginger. And Danville again, Brenda checking on in. Two more. We've got Trisha from Tolono. And last but not least, Lisa from Mahomet. Thanks for logging in with us. We appreciate you joining us here. Of course, we want to get out as much information as we can. Tonight, things start to get interesting out there. Here's the forecast moving forth into tonight. I do have us getting down to 26 before all is said and done. And so that is what we'll be looking for here with those temperatures cooling off. Freezing rain will be moving in primarily after midnight. Tonight it may start as some snow showers, turn into a quick batch of sleet, and then transition to freezing rain. Not certain about the snow showers. Sleet seems to be the lowest chance. It may just start right away as freezing rain for some of us as far as things go. So we'll be watching it very closely here as far as things look. Then tomorrow, the morning hours brings a freezing rain to the area. A slight warm-up is expected. Many of us then will see a cold rain into the afternoon hours, then transitioning back to some late snow showers, maybe a little freezing rain into the evening hours. So a mixed bag. You've heard me say that term before. A mixed bag of precip on the table for us as we go into tomorrow. Let's take a look now and talk about the watches, warnings, and advisories that we have in place here. Of course, if you're not certain where you live, we talk about the forecast a lot with maps. If you download the WCIA3 weather app, you'll be able to tell what alerts apply for your area. You also can get the forecast right away anytime here. You don't have to wait for these special updates. Many of you are watching right now on the app. We're streaming, of course, to Facebook, on Twitter, via Periscope, and through our WCIA3 news and weather app. These counties that are in purple there, that's an ice storm warning. It includes Ford, McLean, and Livingston counties, DeWitt, Logan, Sangamon, Morgan, Cass, and Menard counties. That's going to include some cities like Gibson City up to Roberts, Pontiac, Piper City. We've got Bloomington, Normal, Leroy, Downs, Clinton, Wapella, Waynesville. You've got Logan County, Beeson, Lincoln, down to Mount Pulaski, Springfield, Sherrard. We've got Petersburg, off to Jacksonville and Virginia over in Cass County. That is what we expect for that ice storm warning. Winter weather advisory is elsewhere. Just because you're not in the ice storm warning doesn't mean we don't expect to see ice everywhere. But the ice accumulations are more than likely to be most substantial in the ice storm warning here in central Illinois. Now, I want to give you a quick bit of history. It's been a long time since we've had an ice storm warning. December 18th in 2008 was our last ice storm warning. Really, it covered a lot of the same counties in central Illinois that this one does. They got a quarter to a half inch of ice in that event. For Champaign County, you have to go back another year, 2007. We don't get these all that often. Usually it's a winter storm warning. It's a mixed event, snow, sleet, freezing rain. This one primarily seems to be a freezing rain event. Yes, there could be a quick transition early from snow to freezing rain, but regardless, we think it's going to be a fairly substantial event for some of us in central Illinois. Again, get the app. I can't say this enough. You'll get the push alerts, the updates, and the notifications. If your power goes out, charge your phones tonight. You can get the latest forecast and keep up to date with us on there. A really great way to stay connected. Of course, Jack, Amelia, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy, and myself will be keeping you updated all night tonight, all day tomorrow with things and how they're progressing through the area. This is a look at our freezing rain forecast late tonight through Friday midday. From south to north, the moisture will move on in. There could be, again, a quick snow, maybe a quick sleet. More than likely, though, it will start as freezing rain. You can see the highest area to north and west, and that dark purple is where we expect the most accumulation. The further south and east you go, the less we expect of what happens. And so more than likely to see impacts to travel is probably going to be area-wide. Power lines and trees, primarily the purple, will keep it a little further south to see what happens there. But travel just not going to be great as far as things go here over the next 24 to 48 hours. This is late tonight through Friday midday just for freezing rain. Now we expect that cold rain Friday late morning into the afternoons, but then by Friday night, we may add a little more insult to injury. A quick transition to some snow showers, maybe a little more freezing rain. The best chance to get some light accumulation is in those areas that have the ice storm warning with lesser amounts to the south and east. Don't expect a whole lot, but that quick transition in the backside may very well be just enough to cause some problems as far as the impacts in our area and keep things prolonged a little bit longer. Let's talk more specifically with Future Track here and time it out. Look at what happens, and then on the backside of this, we'll take a look at the accumulation and impacts more specifically. Here we are right now, 8:15, dry in the upper 20s. That's what's going on right now. We are under a cloudy sky. After midnight tonight, we'll start to see some of that moisture creep on in. You'll notice Future Track says, hey, there may be a quick burst of snow on the front edge of it as that moisture lifts to the north. Here's what we can expect from that then as far as it goes. I think primarily if we do get that quick burst of snow, that will make things a little worse. You can think of it this way. If you're dropping just rain and expecting it to freeze on the surface, it can take a little more for that to happen. If, in fact, we do get the moisture to fall as snow early on, that's just going to prime things and be something worth watching here. So if we're adding snow, we're adding ice to the ground and then adding rain on top of it. That can really increase the problems and threats here. So that's going to be one thing we watch. If you're up late tonight, early tomorrow, you see snow falling, that's bad news. Let's just say it that way. That will continue to lift to the north. Here we are, 5 a.m., widespread freezing rain across central Illinois. Perhaps that band of snow on the leading edge has lifted to the north. Again, if that snow comes down, that's going to be bad news. So we'll just say that plain and simple as that. Still expect things to be bad, but that snow is probably the worst case scenario for impacts here, especially on roadways, potentially even trees and power lines. You'll notice the temperature, 5 a.m., 30 in Champaign, 31 in Decatur, 31 in Springfield. We're watching that magic 32 number here. 8 a.m., starting to warm up slightly. Paris, Mattoon, and Effingham are at 33. The impacts are lesser to the further south you go, based on how this moisture is working on in. But you'll notice there's some darker yellows and oranges in place. And when we start to see that, that's indicating some heavier rain. We'll wait and see if that has an impact on things, and it may actually help a little bit. While we get some snow, if we get a heavier rain, that can wash things down. For a big freezing rain event, you want a slow and steady, showery, misty type of event. This could play in our favor, especially along the I-70 corridor. Then we carry into the late morning, early afternoon hours. And that's going to be what we have to watch here. By 1 o'clock, Future Track says 34 in Champaign, 33 in Bloomington, and in Watseka. We're riding a very fine line at that point. We think that freezing line may still be on the I-72 corridor, if not a little to the north. To the south, things are improving pretty quickly. To the north, still going to have some problems. Highway 54 corridor, I-72, I-55. Those are some of those areas where still could see some freezing rain, even at 33 at the surface. If there's already ice that's accumulated on surfaces like trees, power lines, bridges, roadways, you can still get more ice on top of that at 33. That's not out of the question. The trend, though, will be that with a slow warm-up, things will improve. 6 o'clock, Bloomington, Pontiac, never really got out of that freezing rain. 32, 33. Looks like the light rain shower is continuing elsewhere. Notice down to the south and west here, this right here. You'll see this carry on in through the area. Then we go 7, 8 o'clock. That snow then lifts out fairly quickly. I think by midnight, we're going to be on the better side of things. But certainly, this has been trending in the wrong direction for us. We would love to keep it all rain or all snow. Instead, we get this mixed bag. Freezing rain, sleet, snow, rain. It just gets messy very quickly as far as it goes. So we'll be watching radar very closely over the next 24 hours. The trends have been in the direction of a higher impact event, though, in the last number of hours across the area. Here's our freezing rain forecast. The areas in purple more than likely going to see at least 1/10 of an inch, if not higher amounts. Areas in red, a glaze to 1/10 of an inch. And that pretty much is from I-72 to I-70. South of I-70 still could get a light glaze, but it wouldn't last long, especially with that warmer air trying to be pulled north. I say warmer. It's 33, 34. That's not a whole lot here. That hatched area that I have listed is the greatest concern. We could get some localized spots above 1/4 inch. And where we have those higher totals come in place, in particular myself, more worried about McLean and Livingston, maybe parts of Ford and Iroquois County for that. I can't rule it out, though, as far south and west as Lincoln, Springfield, Jacksonville. But more than likely, my particular concern kind of grows right in that area here, where we saw that freezing rain lasting all day, never getting a cold rain, instead still having things freezing. So that's going to be a concern here as far as it goes. Then when we add the snow, it's Friday night on top of that, 1/2 inch to 1 inch along the Highway 54 corridor, perhaps a little dusting to the south and east. It probably will be a quick cutoff, and it will probably be very slushy if it does come down. But then those temperatures are dropping again. And so this may cause more problems, especially for roadways heading into Friday night, early Saturday morning, especially rural and untreated roadways. So that's what we're going to keep our eyes on here moving forward. This is where we have to watch impacts for trees and power lines. Now, the good news is it's winter. There's no leaves on the trees. My last job in Oklahoma, we had a historic ice storm in late October. Got a 1/2 inch of ice while trees still had their leaves on them. That just shredded and destroyed trees. Extra weight accrued on those leaves and pulled those branches down. We don't necessarily have that, but we are fighting the wind here in central Illinois. 20 to 35 mile an hour gust by Friday morning at 6 a.m. If we have areas that are closer to that 1/4 inch level, you get a little wind in there, and that's really going to cause some concerns. Extra weight on power lines, damage some trees, cause some power outages perhaps in areas. So we'll watch it closely. More than likely south here, Paris, Mattoon, Effingham, Taylorville, I think your odds are a little lower for power outages. It's probably that Highway 54, I-55, north of I-72 corridor where I'm more concerned about how things will play out here for us moving forward. What else do I want to show you? I do want to talk about the impact specifically and the timing. Dangerous road conditions are likely Friday morning. That's going to be area-wide. The higher impacts to the north and west. Tree and power line damage is going to depend on areas with the most ice accumulation matching up with the strongest wind gusts. We'll leave it at medium right now. I don't expect widespread power outages in the areas, but it would be smart of you to make sure you got some extra batteries ready to go. You've got your phones plugged in tonight to charge, and you're just ready. We would rather you be prepared and nothing happen than caught off guard and then get mad at us. A lot of people love to do that around here and blame us for the problems. But if you're prepared for a power outage, have that phone plugged in, and you have the WCIA3 app, you'll get those updates from us in the forecast. You can watch radar, see the temperature trend, all kinds of things like that that will help you in understanding what's going on out there. Good news is bitter cold air not going to be present. No single-digit wind chills, nothing like that. We're going to be floating in that 30, 31, 32, 33 degree area, that range, most of this event. So we don't have to worry about wind chills or significant cold moving forward. Travel, though, my best advice, tomorrow morning, just sleep in. Stay at home. Don't go out if you have to. Those roadways are more than likely going to be an issue. And while the Department of Transportation, local municipalities will be out trying to treat roadways, because we have rain constantly coming down, the treatments will wash off. And that's going to be a scenario which is just not good for travel on roadways here in central Illinois. Again, tonight through tomorrow, once that freezing rain starts. Impact-wise, you'll see Champaign, we're in the high zone here. Taylorville, Decatur, Champaign, Danville, southeastern Iroquois County, Claytonville, Cissna Park. That very high range is the area we expect the highest ice accumulation. And that's primarily the Highway 54 corridor and to the north and west. So Springfield, Mount Pulaski, Clinton, Farmers City, Gibson City, up towards Gilman, Onarga, and to the north and west. With travel being the most likely, those areas in pink, some in red, have the best threats for tree damage and power outages. I'm not as sold on that being the case, but we're going to have to watch it very closely before all is said and done. And that pink area, too, is that area that may get that extra snow showers that come in the backside as we go Friday evening and Friday night. So these impacts could be prolonged through late Friday night, early Saturday morning. We'll keep you updated. Just a very not good scenario overall. Here's the thing. Once we get through Friday night, early Saturday morning, the chance is there for some more snow Saturday evening and Saturday night. And we think that band may push a little more to the south and east. This hatched area has the best chance to get up to an inch. I don't think we'll see much higher than that, but we think we could get a dusting to an inch in spots. And then there'll be a transition zone from Petersburg to Charleston to Effingham and to the south and east, more of a rain-snow mix. More than likely, east and south of Effingham will be an all-rain event. We'll watch it closely. Let's get through these first 24 hours before we talk about more, but just keep in the back of your mind, Friday night, we're not done yet. We got that last round that's going to kick on through here Saturday evening and Saturday night. Again, download the WCIA3 weather app, a great way to stay connected. We'll keep you updated on that. If you lose power, you can't watch us on TV. The way the schedule works with CBS is that there is no morning show tomorrow, but we'll keep things updated on digital, on social media, and keep things rolling. Facebook Lives, you can count on the staff to probably jump on in the morning, again in the afternoon. Our show doesn't start until 6 p.m. Friday evening. We have no 5 o'clock. We do have a 6, though. Again, that's just the holiday schedule that works with CBS corporate and whatnot. If we had a show, we'd be covering things in the morning. More than likely, though, folks shouldn't be out anyways, or you have the day off, hopefully. If you don't, that digital app cannot promote that enough as a way to stay connected. All right, here's what we're going to do is I am going to sign off here shortly. We're going to go back, look at questions, answer any timing issues or things like that that you may have, and keep focused on things as whatnot. Our weather camera is going to do a great job tonight as well, watching things, but very much, it's going to be an interesting start to 2021 here in central Illinois. The good news is this will not be a long duration event. Usually with ice storms, you get the ice and you're cold on the backside. I think most of this will be gone within 24 to 36 hours once it starts tonight, and will be a rough day or so. Then we'll have that quick burst on Saturday night. But we've got temperatures in the mid-upper 40s coming in spots next week, some sunshine on the way. 2021 giving us a little icy start, but it will get better. It will. Surely it can't be bad as 2020, right? All right, let's take a look at the questions here before we get too much further along. And I'm going to scroll back through those comments, make sure we've got everything covered. Just kind of checking on through, making sure we've got anything and everything answered. Raymond, Illinois, that's going to be down in Montgomery County. Okay, maybe it would be helpful if I put up the impacts. It's going to be hard to actually know how much ice comes down because it's a constantly transitioning event. I think the way that you'll understand forecasting the best is going to be with those impacts. So Montgomery County, medium to high impacts, that primarily going to be late tonight through tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow morning is going to be rough area-wide. But as that warm air starts to move in from south to north here, those impacts will decrease with time for Effingham, Mattoon, Charleston, Taylorville, Decatur, Champaign-Urbana. Once we get this line here, Decatur, Champaign-Urbana, Springfield, and to the north, we're going to have to wait and see if that freezing rain actually will stop and transition to a cold rain, or if we're going to keep freezing rain on the table all day long. I'm hopeful the worst case is just out of our area. Quincy to Peoria to the Chicago Metro, Quad Cities even. If that's the case, we might be better off. But I don't like the way things have been trending, and that's been a little more to the south here, which is why we're concerned primarily on that Highway 54 corridor and to the north and west of that as far as things go. So that is Penny, who is asking about Raymond, Illinois. I like this, Benjamin, talking about ice, ice, baby. That's right. So that's what we got coming our way. When do we think it will get in Danville? Danville will likely see the freezing rain, snow, sleet move in between midnight and 3 a.m., and again, it will start as that ice transition to freezing rain, perhaps fairly quickly. And then from that, we're hoping the cold rain will come in by late morning to early afternoon. What else? What is heading for Mattoon? Again, Mattoon, you'll start out the morning, treacherous travel, I should say. More than likely, that's going to be from about 3 a.m. till 9, 10 a.m. there. A little earlier of the escape for you as that warmer air comes on in. But still, watch the roadways down that way in particular. Not as concerned for Mattoon, Charleston, or Paris, even Shelbyville, perhaps even Sullivan for power outages or tree damage. We'll have to watch and wait and see, but that further south and east you are, the lesser your impacts are going to be. How much ice are we going to get? Too much. Any ice is too much. I will say this. We'll go back to the freezing rain forecast. We think there'll be a band of 1/10 up to 1/4 of an inch of ice. And that's going to run Jacksonville, Springfield, Lincoln, Bloomington, Normal, Clinton, Gibson City, Watseka, Pontiac. And there will be some isolated pockets of greater than 1/4 inch of ice, especially in areas that don't get that cold rain to push on in, that slight warm up in temperatures all the way. I'm more worried about places like Bloomington, Normal, Pontiac, Gibson City, Watseka for that to happen. I'm optimistic down here, Lincoln, Springfield, and Jacksonville, that we perhaps will get that warm up that's needed to end any threats, or at least hold off on threats down there. But remember, again, then in those same areas, we may add a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of snow on the backside, if not freezing rain. So that's something we're going to watch here, is if this happens, that's just going to extend the impacts Friday night into Saturday morning. Not sold on this, but it's definitely on the table and a real possibility here as far as things go. Northern Champaign County, Fisher, home of the Bunnies, kind of in that same area here. We're kind of on the dividing line. I'll say this here, that transition red to purple, a little ambiguous, and for a reason. Fisher, you're kind of on that 1/10 to 1/4 inch, but just to your south is a glaze to 1/10. So more than likely, you'll be somewhere 1/10, maybe up to 2/10 in that region. We kind of leave that line a little fuzzy, and that way you can kind of interpret, okay, you know, it's kind of in Champaign County, a hard cutoff. Some people may say, well, that's not exactly right. And we kind of see that trouble when we have things like tornado warnings. They're hard box shapes. Well, you're either in or you're out. That's not how it works necessarily with the freezing rain, snow forecast for us as far as it goes. What else? Scrolling on through. Becky is going to St. Louis tomorrow. Becky, if you're going down I-55, your worst area is going to be Decatur, Springfield, Lincoln. If you're coming down 57 to 70, probably going to be the better option, especially if you wait till mid to late morning as far as things go. Jennifer Rose asking about Morris, Illinois. That's up in Grundy County, straight north on Highway 47. Right up there is where Grundy is, north of Dwight. There'll be a very significant event up there, I think, for Morris. That's going to be a concern for us. The further north you go, the worse things are going to get. And up there, they may add a couple inches of snow from LaSalle, Peru, Bureau County, up towards Ogle, Lee counties, and even down towards Peoria, Galesburg. So that's going to be something we watch from afar, hopefully. But that's what we go. Ben, what will the winning lottery numbers be? If I knew, I wouldn't be here. You're supposed to start 2021 off better than that. We're here in Piatt County, Whiteheath. Yeah, I tell you what, some folks have said, and they've been like, well, this isn't 2020 ending this way. It's 2021 starting that way. And I think you're technically right as far as things go. But we will hope this is not a sign of what's to come here for us in central Illinois. Warmer weather is coming. You can see that 7-day forecast as you keep up with it on the app and on the website. I like this one. How about a high of 80? We can dream and hope, can't we? I would love to have a high of 80. We'll have to wait probably till May, maybe April if we're lucky to get that as far as things go. Any idea when it will hit Danville? Michelle wants to make sure her daughter makes it home before it gets bad. It will start to get bad, I think, midnight to 3 a.m., and we'll watch that precipitation lift to the north there again. We'll take it on Future Track. Here we are, 1 a.m., that early band of snow. If that happens again, a quick showing of snow is a worst-case scenario. If we start with just freezing rain, that will lessen our amounts a little bit, but that concern has been the trend for some snow. You're adding ice crystals to the ground, that then the water that's falling is freezing rain. It's super cool. It can start to freeze a much quicker rate. And so there we are, 1 a.m. There's Danville, starting to get it there. But you carry into 5 a.m., and Danville's well in that. So midnight to 3 a.m. is that transition when things are really going to look bad in that area for Vermilion County. What is the projected start time for ice? Fairbury down I-55 to Bloomington. This one coming from Michael, my old high school classmate. Hey, Michael. We've got Fairbury right there. There's Bloomington. You'll notice here at 5 a.m. you're seeing snow showers and freezing rain all the way down. That's going to probably be the worst time for travel as far as things go. They will try and treat interstates, but I'm going to tell you right now, the freezing rain, the worst thing about it is when they treat the roadways, we've got rain falling, it's just going to wash away that treatment. So those roads are going to be not good for much of this event, we think, the way things are going. Christy asking about Ford County again, that same time frame, midnight to 3 a.m., and things go downhill quickly for Ford County. What about Tuscola? Sandra checking in. Here's Tuscola. Right there, Douglas County. You're seeing at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, going to be rough. I'll tell you what, for a lot of folks asking about these specific times, the best thing you can do, stay up till midnight tonight, maybe have a drink or 6, sleep in, wake up at like 10, 11 in the morning, and things will probably, more than likely, for many of us, be a lot better. The concern, though, is here as we get to 1 o'clock is there's still that freezing rain band north of I-72. So you have to watch things and get that latest updates. But not a bad idea to stay home tonight, much of tomorrow if you can, kick back and relax. I still have Christmas tree cakes. Nathan's saying that. I need them. Now, I still have a couple boxes, too. Bought the store out. And we've got one last one, Champaign, Illinois. Notice here, folks watching in Champaign-Urbana, even Danville, Decatur, 1 o'clock, that freezing line is showing up pretty darn close to where we are, 33. You know, you talk about half a degree difference, and that goes from freezing rain to rain. So it's a very fine balance here. The chance is that some of our areas may still be getting freezing rain, especially on elevated surfaces, adding to that ice amounts as we go through the afternoon and evening. So it is a very on the edge. We're straddling the line as far as things go here. 30 miles one way or another will make a huge amount of difference. That 30 miles, though, either means the I-72 corridor in big trouble or the I-72 corridor going to be okay by the afternoon. So that's going to be something we watch here. Again, we just encourage you tomorrow morning, stay off the roadways, stay in, have that app. We'll keep you updated in the morning as far as things go. All right, y'all, I'm going to sign things off here. Again, thanks for joining us on our Facebook Live update. We'll have another one tomorrow morning, I'm sure, between one of us coming in and being out in the field. And if there's any additional questions you have, we've got the blog updated. That's a great way to stay connected with the forecast. Again, I can't say enough good things about it. You can visit our website, wcia.com, for the latest information. It very much, you can get the weather forecast, the discussion, and more from that. Our story is posted there with all of the information you need to know as far as things go. In addition, I can't say it enough, download that app, a great way to stay connected. And then finally, connect with